And now people like us will decide who the hell we want to talk to. And I decide Nick Fuentes is a very relevant, interesting person who I'd like to talk to.
Dave Smith just went on Theo Von's podcast, and they had some very sweet and great things to say about Nick Fuentes. We love to see the support from the realest gigas in the game. Before I get into it, make sure you like today's video. It would make my day. Let's get into Dave Smith and Theo Von glazing Nick Fuentes. Let's hit it.
And they actually have to kind of like face our ideas now. Like, it's interesting. Like, even if you watch I mean, I get it a lot. They flip out about me, but like if you watch the way they flip out about Candace, or the way they flip out about Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson or someone like that, it's like
the Zionists, of course, like Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro. You know the ones.
But they have to flip out about them. You know, in years prior, they would have just marginalized and ignored these guys.
And they tried for a long time.
They sure did. Well, they got Tucker fired from Fox News, right?
They thought
it doesn't matter.
He's
bigger. Yeah. He's bigger now. So what now? What are you going to do? And then Nick Fuentes, what are you going to do? He's banned off everything, you know? I mean, he's on, I guess, Twitter and Rumble. But so what are you going to do?
And he's huge.
Yeah, he's bigger than ever, dude.
He may be bigger than ever. You had him on your show.
Yeah.
How was that? What is he like? Is he big or is he small?
He's not big. He's not a big guy.
This question, is he big or is he small? Very important question from Theo Von. By the way, Theo Von's like my favorite comedian. He's so funny. Shout out Theo Von. If you ever see this or know me, hit your girl up. I'd love to meet you, and I'd love to do a video with you sometime, obviously, but he's way bigger than me. Like, what does he care about little old me, right?
He's small. I mean, he's not like tiny, but he's not.
Somebody said he rides a bike. Is that true or not?
I did not see him on a
bicycle. Rides a bike.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I believe he took an Uber to the studio.
Someone said he rode a bike to.
Oh, listen, I'll be honest. He told me he took an Uber to the studio. I did not see with my own eyes how he got there. He could have
not an Uber black.
He could. It was certainly an Uber white. No, you know, honestly, my impressions. I like Nick, and
he seems like a fascinating cat. I mean, he's obviously fascinating. He's fast. People are fascinated by him.
Well, he's brilliant, and he's hilarious. Which is already something that I just like that. I like funny people.
Same. Like, I am so bored by all these content creators. I need you to be bringing me info, but in a funny, humorous way. You know what I mean? Like, everyone else is so boring. Snooze fast. Ew.
Brave, dude.
Like and subscribe if you agree.
Definitely brave. And, you know, we have some pretty large areas of disagreement, I think. But I've always kind of believed okay, so then it's just, maybe this is kind of like a little naive or something, but my attitude was always like, all right, so we got some areas of disagreement. So like, hey, let's talk about them. And let's kind of like, let's have more conversations and more debates and more, you know what I mean? And just, you know, I think he gets a few things wrong, but then again, he gets some really major things right. And I think that this is part of the reason why they're all so scared of him. You know, if you want to say that like Nick goes down a road of like racialism, and even, it's not exactly that he it's not that he like is praising Hitler and Stalin. He's saying some complimentary things about them or something like that. But if you want to say that like going down this road of like racialism and kind of revisionism about some brutal dictators in history, if you want to say, hey, that's wrong and that's off limits or something as like a cultural rule or a cultural norm, well, how the hell is the guy who's defending a genocide going to tell me that that's the case? You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like all these people are such hypocrites. You guys glaze the freaking disgusting ewish balls of Netanyahu, who's literally being charged for war crimes, who's literally committing a genocide on our dime, on our tax dollars, using our tax dollars. It's disgusting. So yeah, don't, you know, stop with the moral gagging. I'm really saying a different word, but I have to change out the first letter so I don't get a strike on YouTube, as you guys know. But yeah, you guys are a bunch of hypocritical assholes, and I don't care what any of you guys have to say. You guys are worse than Nick. You guys are literally supporting a genocide happening today. By the way, Nick has never said that he admires the killings or the evil doings of these historical leaders. Like, these people are just fascinating to him because they're objectively fascinating people within our history. So get over it. Keep crying your ewish tears and we'll keep laughing.
It's like, oh, you guys are going to tell me like, oh, Nick Fuentes is morally reprehensible, says the people signing the bombs that are going to drop on babies.
I agree.
Sorry. So you've lost that. It's just like, to me, it's like, that's over. You lose the ability to gatekeep this conversation. And now people like us will decide who the hell we want to talk to. And I decide Nick Fuentes is a very relevant, interesting person who I'd like to talk to.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with talking to most people. That's what I think most of the time. Every now and then there'll be somebody like, I don't think I would talk to them. But also it's wild that people assume you know everything about somebody when you're going to have them on the podcast or you're going to talk to them. It's like, dude, sometimes I haven't looked, like I'll know the person, I'll be intrigued by one or two things I heard from them, but I'll have no idea sometimes if they were, you know, if there's been other stuff that people widely disagree with or whatever.
Well, like the responsibility then, which I think is ridiculous, is that it's like you're endorsing everything they've ever said if you agree with them on one thing or something like that. But I do think, you know, when Nick was on Piers Morgan, who, by the way, for the record, I really like Piers Morgan too. I'm not like, and so I like Nick, I like Piers.
Piers is funny.
I love Piers. I think his show's actually really great.
He's brave and he has on a lot of great guests.
It's a circus at times, but I think it's like a really important circus. But the thing that,
dude, that's a great statement. Some of these things are circuses, but it's a really important circus when you talk about like podcasting or some of these types of interviews. It's like,
well, he's had a ton of things. He had Wesley Clark debate Scott Horton. He had Norman Finkelstein debated Benny Morris. Like these like huge, very interesting debates with really brilliant people, you know, and like, and but anyway, so when Nick was on, it was almost like there was the conversation that was going on. They're both speaking past each other completely. It's almost like Piers does not understand the phenomenon that this kid is. But to me, the more meta, like kind of analysis of it, like what was going on there, is that what I think what Nick represents in a lot of ways is, okay, there's been now in the country for at least 30 years, maybe a little more than that, really exploded in the last 15 years. There's been this attempt by every single institutional force to police what Americans are allowed to say by shaming people as racist, sexist, anti-Semitic, all these and look, you know, because the funny thing about someone like Nick is people will make the point, they'll be like, well, look, you could criticize Israel without criticizing the Jews. And you're like, yeah, hey, I do that every day. And you know what I get called for it by Mark Levin? A Nazi. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. So what Nick, in a way, to me at least, represents is a big fuck you to that whole game. I reject that whole paradigm. If you're not going to police me by calling me sexist, racist, or anti-Semitic, because I say I am all those things. Right. So now what?
Boom.
You know? So if you come at Nick the way Piers did, where you go, let me play a clip of you. That's horrible what you said right there. I think you're a bigot. And he'll go, yeah, fuck you. I am. Whereas when I talk to Nick and I go, all right, dude, listen, I think shutting conversation down with accusation of bigotry is fucked up. But what do you actually believe here? He actually opens up and gives you a much more nuanced take. And like, now, is he a few clicks to the right of me? Definitely.
And he's a sensationalist though too.
Sure. And there's a lot of sarcasm and all of that.
If I could see him being a conductor, or I could see him being the guy at the circus who's like dealing with all the animals, he would be perfect at that. And I say that respectfully because he's good at doing it all himself, right? Well, but you have to have those moments that are bonkers out there, or that seem bonkers to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I also just think, like, in the, you know, it's like from doing stand-up comedy, which, you know, I know you know too, it's like you develop a bit of an eye for talent. And that doesn't even mean, like, it's not a question of whether, like, you agree or disagree or whether they're your favorite comic or not your favorite comic. Like, but you could love really edgy, really filthy comedy, and you'd still go, Nate Bargatze's a beast of a talent. You know what I mean? Like, you just recognize talent. Yes. He's very good at what he does. And Nick's ability, like, just as a broadcaster, his talent is like legendary. I mean, he's second to none. Maybe there are some tied with him, but like Tim Dillon's ability to just rant into a camera, Nick Fuentes has that level of ability. And so there is a part of it too where you watch all of these guys you know, freak out, but you're like, look, man, the kid's really good at what he does. He represents a lot of people. He was deplatformed for having views that actually a lot of people have. And also there's just, look, like, there's nuance to a lot of this shit. I think that being racist,
when they try to silence Nick Fuentes, it's like they're not just after him, they're after all of us. You know what I mean?
Is he deplatformed from YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. He was kicked off Twitter. He was kicked off like everything at one point. I'm not sure what he's back.
I was kicked off Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. So not as banned as Nick, but getting pretty damn close. But yeah, I agree with everything that they're saying. Seriously, I also say F you to everyone that tells me what I can and cannot say. Stop trying to police my speech. My speech is not offensive. You choose to be offended. And I actually am offended if I was a little freaking gagget bitch by the fact that you think you can tell me what I can and cannot say. So F you, it's anti-American, it's disgusting, and I hate all of you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your comments. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment an orange heart to help boost the video in the algo. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.